What are some common spiritual issues that you encounter with palliative care patients? And how do you respond to those issues?
Well, I think primarily there's grief.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always, I think there's a need to kind of touch the wound, not to gouge it, but to touch it to make folks aware that you're aware
Mm-hmm.
of that this is an incredibly painful experience. To know that they can talk about it and you're not going to judge them because they weep or because they're angry.
Mm-hmm.
That comes into play with a number of folks who can be very angry, either with medical system, typically it's more with God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're a little bit reluctant to tell the chaplain they're mad at God. Many may be reluctant to say it out loud because the religious tradition says you shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they find they do express it and I can accept them as they are with the need to be angry at that moment, it helps relax. So helps them relax. And
Mm-hmm.
I think grief is primary. Fear is there, fear of the unknown, fear of pain, fear of dying,
Mm-hmm.
fear of leaving what I know. There's a widespread belief in heaven, but we haven't touched it, we haven't smelled it, we haven't seen it. This I've seen and touched and smelled, and I kind of like this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure I want to leave it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. Hope is an issue. I find hope to be a matter of something that's changing. We hope for cure, and then when we realize it's not coming, we hope to be without pain. We hope to live out our days saying what we want, or seeing the person we want, or maybe doing one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me how many people want to go to the boat, meaning go gamble somewhere. But also how many folks want to see somebody who's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And they have hope for that. I think Muhammad Ali gave a statement about hope that I like. He called hope that belief that we can be better. And that's kind of the hope that I have going in, is that this can be a better experience than it's been up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be kind of arrogant on my part to think maybe it hasn't been. So we just have to see about that part.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the issues that comes up now and then is regret. People have things that they have done they wish they had a do-over, or things that they need to confess. I've had more than one person say, I had an affair 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Should I tell my wife? And, no.
Not a good
Not
time.
now. Trust the fact that I can hear what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and because of your regret and your faith, I believe God forgives you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's helpful to them. I think an issue that's always there is that of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
What has made my life meaningful? How have I expressed that meaning? What am I leaving behind in terms of my legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody gets a library built for them or a highway named after them.
Mm-hmm.
But like one man said, I want my children to know I was an honest cop. Really big to him, that he lived his life with integrity, even in situations where it was easier not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's meaningful. That's very meaningful. And I think the other issue primarily is the giving and receiving of love. It's just, in the book Tuesdays with Maury, the young writer who visits his old sociology professor, Maury, and Maury says because of his ALS, when he comes to a place he can no longer control his bowel and his bladder, he doesn't want to live.
Mm-hmm.
But that time comes and he sails right through it. And his young writer friend is confused. He said, I thought you said you didn't want to live, but you seem to be okay. He said, I learned to accept the cleaning up of my rear end and the powdering and the lotioning of my behind as a gift of love, much like a parent gives to a baby. Mm-hmm. And when I do that, it's better, which is pretty powerful change to make, but it has to do with the giving and receiving of love. I think those are lots of the common issues we face.